So yesterday we have completed the just introduction. Okay, what is applied thermodynamics and what we are going to study in the theory. Just quickly, we will go through the laboratory, that is lab practice that we have to conduct in this subject. Okay, so there are some trial on this subject. Okay, we have to conduct the trial. So here there is a 9 experiments are given, out of which 6 we have to perform. So in that, first is the trial on vapor compression system, that is VCR system. Then second, trial on vapor absorption system. Okay, and then trial on air conditioning system testing. So these 3 are on the air conditioning or refrigeration. The first 3 experiments are on air conditioning, and that are available in our college. Okay, so that we will physically, if possible, that we will conduct. Otherwise I will show the virtually. Okay, how to conduct and what is the aim, what is the objective of this trials. Then there is a test on petrol engine, that is called as a Morse test. Okay, that is also available in our college. Then trial on diesel engine, trial on petrol engine. Okay, trial on variable compression ratio engine. This is not available in our college, but virtually we can see that also. But this first 3 are available on the ICE engine, that is Morse test, diesel engine, petrol engine. Okay, then trial on positive displacement air compressor, that is also available. And then demonstration on exhaust gas analyzer and smoke meter. So this, there are 2 equipments or instruments. Okay, first it is a gas analyzer, exhaust gas analyzer, which is particularly used for petrol engine. Okay, that is available in our lab. And second is the smoke meter, that is used for the diesel engines. Okay, diesel engine vehicles are that emissions are checked by this smoke meter. Whenever you are going for PUC testing, you will find that PUC center is having these 2 instruments. One is the gas analyzer, exhaust gas analyzer, and second is the smoke meter. Okay, they have separate instrument to check the petrol engine and diesel engine. Okay, because passenger cars are having both types of engines, petrol engine as well as diesel engine, and heavy vehicles mostly are having the diesel engine. Okay, so we have to check the exhaust with the smoke meter. Okay, so remember this also, very important. Whenever we are saying exhaust emission, we have to check it. So if it is a diesel engine, then smoke meter is used. If it is a petrol engine, exhaust gas analyzer. Whenever I am saying this is important, because the examination will be conducted in multi-choice question type. Okay, so such questions will come in the examination, very simple questions, but if you remember just what I have told you, then very easy to answer it. Okay, it is very easy to answer such questions. So these are the list of experiments, that out of which 6 experiments we have to conduct, and only that 7 experiment is not available with us, but all 8 experiments are available in our lab. Okay, so out of 8 we will conduct any 6. Okay, so that will complete your term work as well as for the oral. Okay, this is the first part of lab practice. Then another part that is added in this new syllabus, that survey, minimum 1. This is the activities that are added. So what is this survey? Practical survey of various fuel supply systems. Okay, so you have to just make a survey through the internet or through the books and find out how various supply systems are used. Okay, then practical survey of supercharged and turbocharged engine. Again, this is very simple. Nowadays we have the internet, and everything is available on the fingertip. Okay, so by using that internet, you will get everything about the supercharging, turbocharging, and I am here to explain you. Okay, only the thing you have to yourself do this survey. Okay, anyone, I will suggest or I will distribute this survey to different batches. Okay, then activity. This activity is very important. I think a very good thing that made this in this new syllabus, that activity is given to you, presentation based. compulsory study of following topics must be done by the student during semester to gain awareness and further understanding of the course, and a presentation of the same should be included in term work. Okay, so this is the new way that you have to do. It is not a clerical work. It is actually a very good work to make a presentation. Okay, some topics will be given, and on that topics you have to do. Okay, for example, engines. So anyone homogeneously charged compression ignition engine, that is SCCI. This is the modern trends. These are the called as the modern trends in the IC engines. What is that? The first is homogeneously charged compression ignition engine. Okay, stratified charge engine, variable wall timing, then variable geometry turbochargers. These are the various topics out of which you have to select one, or faculty will give, means I will give you according to the batch, and you have to make a presentation. Okay, again there are different sources for this. You can go to the website, you can refer any books, latest papers. How to do that, I will explain you. You don't have to worry. I will explain how to do everything. Okay, how to make a presentation. Anytime you can contact me, I will give the guidance. Okay, this activity is very, very important, because such activities we are doing in industries. Okay, in industries also we have to do the survey, we have to do the project work, we have to present the presentations. Okay, so such kind of activity we are doing here only, so that you have the exposure and it is convenient for you to do the same activities in your real life, that is in career also. Okay, in industry. Then second, automotive fuel. Anyone, hydrogen CNG vehicle, adaptive cruise control system, onboard diagnosis system, electric battery classification, fuel cell vehicle, rear drive emission system, etc. Okay, these are the new trends. Now we are replacing this IC engine with electrical vehicles. Okay, we are adding the hybrid vehicles also. Hybrid vehicle is nothing but it is running on electrical as well as our conventional IC engine. So here you will find particularly automotive fuel. Previous one, it is particularly for the engine. This is particularly for the automotive fuel. So it combines everything that that it is related to the automotive. Okay, then there is another part that we are going to do, industrial visit. Okay, compulsory industrial visit must be arranged to the automotive manufacturing or servicing center. So this is compulsory activity that we have to do, and we will find nearby industry. Okay, if physically we are attending the college, definitely we are going to visit a service station or a automotive manufacturing company. Student must submit properly documented details industrial visit report in his or own, her or his own words. Okay, so you have to make a report of that and submit in the term work. Okay, so this is industry visit. Then I have listed out some industries related to this course. Okay, so there are a number of companies in India and abroad which are dealing with IC engine, then compressors, then your refrigeration. So it is a huge industry. Okay, where you can work. If you know the refrigeration, there are a lot of companies. If you know in detail and you have the interest in IC engine, there are a number of companies which are dealing with engine as well as automotive. Okay, then third, that is your compressor. Okay, so Atlas Copco, that is located in Pune as well as Nasik in Maharashtra. So it is dealing with the compressor and compressor components. Okay, so these are the some of the industries that we will quickly see. Annex Engineering Private Limited, Mumbai, they are manufacturing automotive parts. Okay, cylinder, piston rings, etc. of the engine. Myco Private Limited, okay, New Delhi. GS Power Consultants, Hyderabad. Then Atlas Automotive Components Private Limited, just I have told you, Atlas Copeland and Atlas Copco and Atlas Automotive Components. Then John Polar India Limited, okay, it is again in the field of IC engine and automotive. Then Kirti Enterprises, Ducati, Kirloskar. Kirloskar is a big group which is dealing with the engines particularly, okay, and refrigeration. Previously they are manufacturing the compressors, now it is taken over by the Copeland, okay. So it is Kirloskar is mostly in the Maharashtra and abroad also. So it is big group where you have the bright future, okay. Then Kalyani Forging, they are particularly manufacturing the automotive parts, particularly for engine, okay. Um, turbocharger, crankshaft, okay, connecting rod, etc. Cummins Pune, okay, which is again located in Pune. Ashok Leylands, Caterpillar. These are the heavy vehicles manufacturer companies. Tata Motors, Volvo India. This is multinational company which is located in Bangalore. Okay, so here the working culture is very good. Okay, as a mechanical engineer, you have to dream such companies to work. Okay, so and we hope some of you may work in such companies. Okay, I think many of the directly second year students also working in such companies also. Okay, then Bajaj is another name in the automotive company, automotive field. Now just we will see what actually we are studying or why we are studying this applied thermodynamics. Okay, now the first part, that is the refrigeration. In day-to-day life, this you have seen, everybody has seen this refrigerator. In every house nowadays we have a refrigerator, not AC commonly, but refrigerator is a common thing that is in every home we find its application. Okay, this is the freezer or it is a refrigerator, but it is commercial refrigerator that is used in the malls, shops, etc. Okay, so if you go or visit Reliance Mall or Big Bazaar, you will find such storage. Okay, this is a refrigerated storage where refrigeration is used to maintain or to preserve the foods, okay, at particular temperature. And what is the mechanism behind this? What is the cycle or what is the system that is used to minimize the temperature, to reduce the temperature, or to maintain the temperature? So this is the refrigeration cycle, which is called as VCR or VCC, that is vapor refrigeration cycle or vapor compression refrigeration or vapor compression cycle. Okay, which consists of most four parts. This is the evaporator. This is the evaporator where cooling effect is obtained, where we are getting the cooling effect, where the temperature is maintained, heat is absorbed. Okay, then this is the compressor. In VCR you will find all these components. This is the compressor. Then after compressor, this is oil separator, but just it is an accessory, but main parts are evaporator, compressor, condenser, and throttling. Okay, these four parts are essential part to run the VCR system. Okay, then compressor, then condenser, where the heat is rejected, and then it is going to the throttle valve where expansion takes place. Okay, so that it will get converted, that pressure will be lower down. Expansion valve where the pressure will be lower down. In detail we are going to discuss everything. Okay, just for the example I am showing here, but in detail we are going to study later on. Okay, so this is the system that is used in refrigerator, air conditioning, this storage system everywhere. Okay, this is split AC. Okay, the evaporator is inside the room. This is the evaporator. This is called a evaporator, which is inside the room, and this is compressor and condenser, which is outside the room. Okay, because it is giving the heat and that will be given to the atmosphere. This is the compressor. In our domestic refrigerator, if you see the back side, you will find this compressor. Okay, this is the back side of your domestic refrigerator. This is compressor, this is your condenser, and this is evaporator, which is inside that box refrigerator. Okay, inside this box, this is the evaporator which is present, which will do the cooling effect. Now this is the first part of the course that we are going to discuss with the or dealing with the refrigeration cycle. Now the second part is your IC engine. Now IC engine find the application in automotive. This is the two-wheeler, four-wheeler, everywhere you will find the application of IC engine. It is very convenient to use IC engine, okay, as far as automotive is concerned. Nowadays we are converting this automotive from IC engine to the electric vehicle, okay, due to the need of the time. But if you find it as far as the application point of view, it is very convenient to use this IC engine, because just we have to fill the fuel and we will run as much as fuel is available. Okay, there is no need of charging, etc. You can run number of kilometers without stop. Okay, so here also you will find a small IC engine. Here also small IC engine. Here it is a big engine, okay, for four-wheeler. And as we are going for the heavy vehicles, again the engine is of high capacity. Okay, according to the application, we have the different capacity engines. Okay, that also we are going to discuss in detail. It is always given in the term of HP, okay, horsepower. So for small vehicles, it is 8 HP engine is sufficient. For but for four-wheelers, heavy vehicles, it is 70 HP2 and more than that. Okay, engines are used. Now this is the engine which is available or fitted in the four-wheeler. Okay, this is the first one or earlier stage of the engines, okay, which were invented by Ford, etc. And such vehicles are used to run this, or such vehicles are used as a transportation vehicle. Okay, this is again the engine that in detail we are going to discuss each and every part of this engine. This is the application of engine, that is locomotive. Okay, then marine. So there are a lot of application, that is aviation, marine, road transportation, locomotives. These are the applications of your IC engine. Okay, so this is the marine engine. Again, it is a IC engine itself, but it is used for the marine application. This is the locomotive engine. You will surprise how this transmission of power taken from the engine to the locomotive. It is very interesting to know. Here we do not have that gear drive, etc., clutch, gear drive. Here what is done, the electricity is generated by running the diesel engine. Electricity is generated and electricity is used to run the motors. Okay, very surprising. But if you go and ask any railway engineer or railway pilot, you will find that here we are converting the thermal energy into mechanical energy, and that mechanical energy into electrical energy, and that electrical power runs this engine. Okay, so very surprisingly, but it is true. Then this is again day-to-day life. Everybody has seen this engine. This is for the two-wheeler. Okay, this is the engine, and this is transmission system, that is gear, clutch, etc. Okay, brakes, etc. And these are the basic type of engines. Okay, is it visible to all screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
This is the two-stroke engine. Nowadays it is absolute. Such engines are not used in general. Previously it was used for two-wheelers. You may have heard about the Rajdoot, Luna, okay, Bajaj scooters, Vespa scooters. In such vehicles, such engines were used, that is two-stroke engines. Okay, but due to the new regulatories, this type of engines are absolute. They are not used. Only for small engines, for the spray, agriculture spray, pesticide spray, we will find such small engines. Okay, but for transportation or for automotive application, such engines are absolute. You will not find now such engine, that is two-stroke engine. This is the four-stroke engine. Okay, this all in detail we are going to discuss when we will study the classification of engines. Okay, how it is classified, how to distinguish between two-stroke engine, four-stroke engine. Okay, in your diploma also you may have studied this, but again we will revise it. Okay, so these are the engines. This is the processes that are occurring in the engine. Okay, suction, compression, power, and exhaust. Okay, these four operations should complete, then and then only you will find the power generation. If any operation missing, your engine is not going to be run. You will not getting the power. All these four operations, I am saying operation now. Don't confuse between the stroke and operation. Okay, many times students are confused in between stroke and operation. I am saying operation. These four operations, that is induction, or it is called as a suction, that is the first operation, then compression, then power or combustion, and last is the exhaust. So these four operations are essential to run the ICE engine. Okay, so here we are shown separately. Okay, that is four-stroke engine. This is the first section of your multi-cylinder engine. Okay, that is used particularly in your four-wheelers. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 cylinders, 4 pistons. Okay, so it is a four-cylinder engine. Okay, so in detail we are going to discuss each and every part of this and how it runs. Okay, what is the cycle, what is the mechanism, or what is the theory behind it, that we are going to see. Somebody will take the screenshot. Okay, then this is compressor. I think everybody has seen this compressor also. Whenever we are going for the filling the air in your vehicle, okay, you will find such cylinder and compressor. This is the reservoir and this is the compressor. Okay, so to store this compressed air, there is a reservoir, and this air is used for multiple applications. That is for inflating the tire of your vehicle, or for spray painting, or for pneumatic application. Okay, so this is compressor, that the last part we are going to see in our syllabus. Okay, so this is your reciprocating compressor. This there is again the system, that is a piston cylinder arrangement. Okay, and air is sucked, it is compressed, and it is delivered with a high pressure. Okay, so this is the two multi-cylinder. Okay, it is again classified into single cylinder or multi-stage, single stage or multi-stage compressor, that we are going to see in detail. Okay, so here it is reciprocating. The system is similar to ICE engine. There is a piston cylinder, but operation is totally opposite. Here we are giving the power to get the compressed air, but in case of ICE engine, we are getting the power by using the fuel. Okay, so thermal energy is converted into mechanical energy. Here we are giving the mechanical energy to get the compressed air at a high pressure. Okay, now we will we have seen all the introduction, everything what we are going to study in detail. Okay, so this is just introduction of your course, that is applied thermodynamics. Now we will start with our first unit. That is, what is the first unit? Refrigeration and psychometry. Okay, refrigeration and psychometry. There are two parts. First is the refrigeration, and second part is the psychometry. That is, psychometry is nothing but the use of that air conditioning, how to maintain the air at a particular temperature and humidity. Okay, so one by one we will see in detail. So from here we will go smoothly, slowly. Okay, so first, what is refrigeration? What is refrigeration? It is a process of removing heat from a substance under controlled condition. Continued extraction of heat from a body whose temperature is already below its surrounding substance used to remove heat is called refrigerant. Now, refrigeration is a science dealing with the removal of heat from lower temperature to higher temperature. Very simple. If you want to remember this definition of refrigeration is the science or the branch of mechanical engineering which deals with the transformation of heat from lower temperature to higher temperature. Means from a system which we want to maintain at a lower temperature, heat is extracted. It is passed to the temperature, higher temperature. Okay, so it is a refrigeration. Then what is refrigerant? There is a fluid which is flowing through the system, okay, that absorbing the heat from the lower temperature and giving that heat to the environment or surrounding which is at a high temperature. That fluid is called as refrigerant. Okay, so in your refrigeration, that is VCR, you will always find a refrigerant which is flowing through the system. The refrigerants are of different types that we will see one by one. Then what is air conditioning? Air conditioning is a branch of engineering which deals with the study of conditioning of air. Okay, the conditioning of air means what? Conditioning of air means supplying and maintaining the internal atmospheric condition for human comfort, industrial application, food processing, storage of food and other material. Now many times you will find that in Bombay, if you visit in Bombay or coastal area, you will find that the temperature is not that much, okay, but you are not feeling comfortable as you are feeling in Pune or dry area. Same temperature, for the same temperature. Why this is the difference in feeling? Because of the humidity. At the coastal area, particularly for example in Bombay, you will find the humidity is very high. So if the humidity is very high, then it is very uncomfortable for the human being to survive. Okay, so we have to dehumidify, we have to reduce the humidity, then we will feel comfortable. Okay, similar to that, temperature also, if temperature goes beyond 40, 42, you will find you will not comfortable. Okay, why? Because the temperature is very high. So we have to maintain the temperature also. If the temperature is 28, 27, then you will feel comfortable. Okay, so we use the cooler or refrigeration, that is AC, to lower down the temperature. Okay, so what is air conditioning? It is a study of conditioning of air. What is conditioning of air? It means supplying and maintaining internal atmospheric condition for human comfort. This is the first. Second, industrial application. For example, in pharmaceutical industry, we are manufacturing the medicine. Okay, for a particular medicine, the atmospheric condition should be maintained, otherwise that drug particular will not effective. So that condition is to be maintained. In that situation, we have to maintain the condition of air. Okay, the temperature, humidity, etc., etc. Okay, so that is the another application. Then food processing. In food processing also, that temperature should be maintained, otherwise that food get it will not good for the health. Okay, so we have to maintain the temperature and condition of the air. Okay, then storage of food, we have to maintain according to the food. If it is frozen, then we have to maintain it below 0 or in negative. Okay, so that it will be preserved for a longer duration. Similarly, some other materials also in our industrial application also, if we want to make a material but brittle, then the temperature should be lower. Okay, so there are a lot of applications of this air conditioning. Now, what is the unit of refrigeration? Very, very important. This question definitely is going to be asked in oral or in your examination. So generally this refrigeration is measured in terms of ton of refrigeration. Ton of refrigeration denoted by TR. Okay, so what is this ton of refrigeration? Ton of refrigeration is defined as the amount of refrigeration effect produced by uniform melting of 1 ton. 1 ton means 1000 kg of ice from and at 0 degrees Celsius in 24 hours. Okay, so this is the definition, but have you understood what is meant by this 1 ton? 1 ton of refrigeration means it is the amount of energy required to give the refrigeration effect or to produce the refrigeration effect. Which refrigeration effect? To melt 1 ton of ice from and at 0 degrees Celsius. The energy or the amount of energy required to melt 1 ton of ice at a 0 degrees Celsius in 24 hours. That is nothing but your 1 ton of refrigeration. Okay, so just we are converting into our generally known unit. So what is latent heat of ice? It is 335 kilojoule per kg. Okay, so this much heat should be taken. This much heat should be taken in 24 hours. Okay, so this is per kg. How much kg? We are saying 1 ton. 1 ton means 1000 kg. So 1000 into 335. Okay, in 24 hours. So simplify it. 1000 into 335 divided by 24 hours means, if in per minute, then multiply it by 60. Okay, so it becomes 232.6 kilojoule per minute. Okay, so 1 ton of refrigeration is nothing but 232.6 kilojoule per minute. This much effect is there in terms of kilojoule per minute. If it converted into kilowatt, so again divided by 60, so it is approximately 210 kilojoule per minute approximately taken, and which is equal to 3.5 kilowatt. Okay, that is 3.5 kilojoule per second. So just we have done simple calculation. Okay, so just we have converted 1 ton of refrigeration into 232.6 kilojoule per minute. Okay, and it is equivalent to 210 in general. In practice, it is taken as 210 kilojoule per minute or 3.5 kilowatt. Okay, so remember this term. 1 ton of refrigeration is nothing but 3.5 kilowatt. Okay, so this is the unit of refrigeration. Then second definition that we are going to see, coefficient of performance. Generally in the thermal system or other systems, we are defining the performance by the efficiency. Yes or no? Efficiency we are defining every time. Yes or no? Okay, so again here it is not the efficiency, it is the coefficient of performance. This we will discuss and stop for today. Okay, so what is coefficient of performance? The coefficient of performance, briefly denoted as COP, is the ratio of heat extracted in the refrigerator to the work done on the refrigerant. Okay, it is also known as theoretical coefficient of performance. Means again it is what COP is the effect. What is the effect? A refrigeration effect. Okay, so here what we are doing, we are extracting the heat. So this is the output. Okay, but what is the input? It is the work that is given to the refrigerant. That work we are giving in terms of mechanical work to the compressor. Okay, so it is output upon input itself. But what is output here? It is the amount of heat that is extracted in the refrigerator. Okay, so Q by W, and W is the amount of work done. So Q is equal to amount of heat extracted in the refrigerator, or the amount of refrigeration produced, or the capacity of the refrigerator, and W is the amount of heat, amount of work given. Okay, so this is the COP, coefficient of performance. So these are the simple definitions. First we have seen what is ton of refrigeration, then coefficient of refrigeration. Then this we will discuss next time, that is a reverse Carnot cycle. Carnot cycle you have studied first, but here we are going to see Carnot cycle for refrigeration. So it is called as a reverse Carnot cycle. Okay. So next time we will discuss with this and continue with the refrigeration. So meanwhile, everybody should. I will provide the PPTs also in soft copy for your references. Okay. If you have any issue, you can ask.